as I wrap up my first year unprotected, free fall self-employment, I thought it would be a great opportunity to really sit and break down exactly what to expect when you're self-employed. A lot of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, they like to put out this like idea that being self-employed is the only way to be and it's the most lovely thing that could ever happen to you. And I just want to dispel a few of those myths because, to be honest, while being self-employed is great, there's a lot of pitfalls and things that people don't talk about. I want to be someone who sheds lights on these things because you have to know. When you're making a big career move, you have to know what you're getting into. It would have helped me so much to just have a whiff of these things before I took the bite.
I quit!
So with that being said, I would like to break down a few things that you will go through in your first year as an entrepreneur. One of the first things you'll go through, what I like to call I don't have to, which is strange phenomenon. See, you work your entire life thinking that the reason you're not motivated and the reason that you have such a hard time really leaning into your work is because you're not passionate about it. Until you switch into something that you are passionate about and you find yourself having the exact same problem. Imagine your shop, right? So here you are, it's Monday morning, right? Your second week self-employed. You did okay week one, or you've got stuff going, but Monday at 8 a.m. rolls around and you realize, ooh, I don't have to get up.
Wake me up when I care.
Squidward. 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 Squid.
I mean, let that sink in. I don't have to wake up and produce anything. Like, yeah, you should, but you don't have to. What happens there? You wake up, you don't have anywhere to report to, so you don't report anywhere. And that therein lies the problem. See, you will have these stints where you really have to push and fight through how you feel to do what you have to do. And that doesn't matter if you're working a 9-to-5 that you hate, or if you've got a full-time salary career, or if you're building a business, or you're building a brand, or you're doing whatever your life's dream is, writing a book, making an album, whatever it is, there will come a time where it's go time. You should be producing things and your heart's just not in it. And for the first time ever in your entire life, you don't have to do anything. I mean, you wake up for school, you go to school. You don't want to go, but you got to wake up, you got to go to school. And then somewhere in being at school, a friend makes you laugh, or an interesting topic pops up or something, and now you're involved with being there, and the whole day kind of shapes after that. But what happens when you don't have to go to school? You wake up and there is nowhere that you have to be. And so for the first time, you can choose to just not do anything. And the really dangerous thing about that is that can go on for days, weeks, and if you let it go far enough, months, and you'll end up right back where you are. I find it's a slippery slope, and it's worthy of discussing because it's one of the most important factors that nobody ever really mentions. Everybody talks about staying motivated and stuff, but the problem isn't always in the motivation. Sometimes the problem simply lies in you are used to structure and then all of a sudden you don't have it. And I think that is something worth talking about. The next thing that people don't really explore is the idea that success does not equivocate to safety. Allow me to kind of explain my situation. I worked full-time for 13 years, active duty military, and before that I worked other jobs full-time, getting as many hours as I could. I've got 3 kids. When I ejected from the military, I had to do so at a time where I would not put my family at risk. And my thought was, well, if I go reserve and if I could succeed, great, but if I can't, my wife only has to support me for a year. And when you say it like that, that really sheds a lot of light on it. Like, I've always been the breadwinner, but I knew that given our lifestyle and the situation we were in, that if I were to fail, we would not die. Like, we would be okay. For that 12 months, 13 months that I was trying to figure it out, we wouldn't die. No birthdays would be missed, XYZ. That's due to the way we built our life while we had regular income. So the reason I bring that up is when I made the leap, when I got out, I was replacing my income right away. And I'm so lucky. I'm not sure this happens for everybody, but I separated from active duty in December, and the month of January, I was already replacing my income. Month of February, I made more than my income. March, I had to get back on it. I got kind of caught up in the magic that, okay, well, I can do the things that I want to do and I'll still make money. I'll still produce, which was true. But at the same time, without the focus on the income producing activities, the income wasn't produced. And nobody starved, but I did get chided. And the reason I segue into this is that even after 12 months of solid income, every month I brought home a whole lot one month, not as much the next month, a whole lot this month, a lot this month. And it's just like, even with that being the case, the paychecks are staggered and there are various amounts. And my wife has never found comfort in not knowing exactly what's coming in. Despite her best efforts, she does believe in me. She's seen that the business works. She's seen that the model works. But there's still no guaranteed income. And she has not adapted to that lifestyle in 12 months. So that's something to consider. Success, money, is not the benchmark for your family's well-being. There are other less definitive factors that will make your family feel comfortable when you make this switch. And this is if you have a family. If just realize that you might switch from this safe job and take this risky one and make double amount of money, and it doesn't equivocate to what you think. It's not like, oh, she's gonna go, oh wow, that's so great, I'm so glad you did this, oh my god, babe, this was the best decision you could have made. No, she's thinking in her head that at any moment it could all dry up. Oh, and you probably made a big mistake, because they would rather take the small amount regularly than a large amount every other month or sometimes twice a month. It's a whole thing. Consider this before you make the switch. What is the success benchmark that your family needs? Not just you. What is the success benchmark that your family needs to feel comfortable in this transition? Another thing is opportunity comes from getting out and just brushing people. When I first started, I honestly thought that there was some method to making sales and making acquaintances, and it turns out that really all it is living your life, which is great because it reinforces, the first point, which is you just have to get out and do stuff, and even if you don't feel like it. Any club you're a part of, any group of people you're acquainted with, car people, fish tank people, motorcycle people, card playing clubs, whatever it is, if you're integrated into people and you talk to people and you find and fill these needs, you're going to make sales. And again, I'm not like, don't be that person who only goes to things to make acquaintances to make sales. People will detect that right away. But if you're friends with thousands of people and thousands of people know that you are an insurance agent or a real estate agent, when the need comes up, they will come to you. Or, you can come to them, but it never works when you walk into it under the presumption is, I'm going to make a sale. Be a person to people and you'll make the sales. Like, it's the silliest thing. You got all these coaches, you got all these personalities telling you, you need to drive harder sales, you need to work them up the line, blah, 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 blah. Why would you treat people like that? They're not projects, they're not commodities. These are people. Me personally, in real estate, I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. They're scared. They need information, they need attention, they need care in order to bring them to the point where they feel comfortable making a purchase. If I'm only in it for the sale, dealing with first-time home buyer people, I'm going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to burn out. And the reason being is that a lot of them are slower to purchase, and at the same time, if they feel any form of pressure, they crack. I have never lost a first-time buyer except for financing reasons. I have never lost a first-person home buyer because it's like, you're not doing your job, you're not taking care of me. I felt like you didn't hear me, anything like that. And the reason being is that I respect the position that they're in, and I'm here to help them. So I'm coming from a service-minded place. And if you're not coming from a service-minded place, if you're strictly bottom line goals, I'm looking at how many closings do I have, blah, 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 you're going to be miserable. And your clientele you're going to have a much higher wash rate. So keep that in mind. Never lose perspective as to why you got into a business. It will all come back. If you take a hit on this deal, the right deal will come back to balance out the hit that you took. Take care of people, they'll take care of you. Those are the 3 lessons that I've learned since, being self-employed. I've got plenty more, man. Anyway, I'm Brandon Harris. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, click the bell, whatever. My plan is to do a video a week at least. So that's what we're going to do here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more tips, there's more below.